So a while back, I went to Las Vegas and I met with Christopher Yee. He sold me an RX560 4GB card for 20 bucks. So figure with the test bench that I also got from him, time to put the card to the test. Let's check out the RX560 in 2019. Hey everyone, Chris with Coalition Gaming here. So let's talk about the RX560. So this is the MSI Aero, whatever, ITX version. No extra power needed on this one. Draws all its power from the PCIe slot. And well, long story short, I think that lately it's been a bit overshadowed by the RX470 and 570 because those have hit the used market and prices are incredibly low on them. So this one I got for 20 bucks. Other people may not be able to get a good deal on these. Unfortunately, eBay and OfferUp and other sites like that, the cheapest I can find these are around $60-ish. And when you have RX470s and 570s in the $70-ish to $90-ish range and have massive performance upgrade over this card, it puts this one in a really interesting situation. However, if this is the kind of card that you need because of the size, because of power requirements, or something like that, it is definitely something that could be worth considering. Or if it's the most that you can afford, either way. The 4GB variant, we're gonna put this one through the tests. So Polaris, which is this card's architecture, is pretty strong in my opinion. This is the architecture that I wish that AMD had shrunk to 7 nanometers and then kept improving to see what would have happened with that. Vega was a little underwhelming, but I guess we'll see what's coming up next with Navi. Anyways, back to Polaris, back to the 460 and 560. I believe this originally came out, what, in 2016? As the 460, and back then it was 14 CUs, which means it was limited in terms of like its compute units. 14 CUs, it turns out that you could unlock it to get to 16 and you get something like a 10 to 12% performance boost. Well, when the RX 560 came out, it came out already as the unlocked version. You had the full 16 CUs right out the gate. And then AMD did something weird and released a 14 CU version like the previous Gen 460 under the same name without really telling anyone. AMD got in a bit of trouble over this, so make sure that when you're looking for the RX 560, if you're going to be looking for one, that you find one that is 16 CU. It says 16 CU. You have the better performing one. The 14 CU version, you would be able to reference any RX 460 benchmark or review in order to get the numbers of performance on that one. Although the clocks may be a bit different, the performance would be relatively similar. So this MSI Aero 4GB OC model, we're going to go ahead and show you the benchmarks now. Let's check it out. So there you have it, 8 games benchmark for this card, and to be honest, I gotta tell you guys, I was actually pretty surprised with the performance of this card. I didn't expect it to be as good as this, especially in the Division. The Division generally has been kind of a demanding game, but Division, we got, what do my notes say here? 81.8 FPS, about 82 FPS average with the 1% low of 50. That's generally gonna mean that it's gonna be pretty smooth, and that's great. I was actually even more surprised that in Battlefield 5, in a 64-player online match, we got over 60 FPS. As a matter of fact, we got over 70 FPS, and the 1% low at 47 wasn't too terrible either. It was a relatively enjoyable and smooth experience. Sure, these things are being set on low or possibly medium, but it doesn't look all that bad, and if it's all you can afford or all you can run in a pinch, this really does get the job done. Realm Royale in maximum settings obviously blew it out of the water. Fortnite over 80 FPS, great. Our Rainbow Six Siege 1080p medium setting had the best 1% and 0.1% lows, which is going to mean that game is going to run smooth. So if you're looking for something to play some Siege, this card is solid on a budget. Apex Legends was a bit of a weird one, although it was great, and it was actually kind of funny because playing on this card on my test bench at lower graphics settings, I ended up getting the most kills I have anytime I've ever played Apex in 2 matches in a row. And I was the kill leader in both matches at one point, so that's interesting. Whatever the case is, I tried to set everything to low in the game. However, there's a bug right now where model detail, even though you set it to low and apply, reverts back to high. So I'm not sure if it ran at low, if it ran at high. I think it ran at high, which is kind of interesting. But everything low, model detail high, and we still average over 60 FPS with the 1% low of 42, and even better, the 0.1% low over 30 at 36. Apex is going to run smooth on a budget with this card. So that's my little overview of the results. I know the 470s and the 570s are essentially overshadowing this card, but if you need something like this in a pinch and can get a good deal on it, definitely I recommend it. Otherwise, save the money, get a 470, get a 570, and you'll be much happier in the long run. Christopher Yee, thank you for selling this to me. 20 bucks, what a steal. Looks great on my test bench. Thanks, man. So I'm Chris with Coalition Gaming. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. We always have more content coming. We do our weekly streams at 8 p.m. Pacific every Thursday. And we have our socials, everything linked down below. I'll have this product as well linked down below. And there you go. So if you guys, again, like this video, hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.